High school football is finally back in the state of Georgia, and there were several big-time Georgia Bulldog commitments who had a monster opening game to the 2024 season. That's what I'm going to talk about, which Georgia commitments were in action. A lot of them weren't. If they're an out-of-state commitment, there's a really good chance they did not play yesterday. Their season hasn't started yet, but it started in Georgia, and there were a lot of guys who had a big week one to the season. So let's dig into it right now. The first guy I want to talk about is Ethan Barbour, a four-star tight end at Milton who's committed to Georgia. That's where I went last night. It was a big game. Buford came to town to play Milton, and not a lot went right, I guess, for both offenses. Ethan Barbour did a really good job in the run game. They ran behind him. He showed some toughness, some physicality. He actually had one of the big blocks to spring running back TJ Lester for a big Milton touchdown. But that game was like a 13-10 win for Milton. And it rained a lot, so it came pouring at half. It was a 2-hour delay, so I didn't stay for the whole game. I stayed for the first half. He had 3 targets, 0 catches, just could not build some chemistry with Luke Nickel, the Milton quarterback committed to Miami. He had a tough day. He tried to stretch the ball down the field. He missed an open C.J. Wiley a couple times, and I thought watching Ethan Barbour closely that, he was getting open. The ball just was either a little too behind him or was thrown out of bounds for whatever reason. It was an incomplete pass. So not a whole lot going on as a pass catcher, but the guy knows what he's doing. And I do think he's going to catch a lot of passes this year, but Buford's got a tough defense and Milton's got a tough defense. So it was tough for each team to really get things going offensively, but he was solid in the run game. And again, I think if Luke Nickel was just a little more crisp, he could have got the ball to Ethan a little bit more in this game, but not a whole lot to talk about as far as his performance. But he is a big time player and one of my favorite players in this area who is committed to Georgia. He was a pass catching machine at Alpharetta. And I do think he will be more consistent in the passing game. They just got to find him. I know they want to throw the ball to C.J. Wiley, but Ethan Barbour definitely needs the ball coming his way. Now, Georgia's other tight end had the opposite type of day. Ellis Williams, a 5-star tight end out of Camden County. They had a massive win over Brunswick. He had 3 touchdown catches in this ball game. One of them, I believe it was the third, was like 30 yards down the field. He went up and Randy mossed the ball, caught it over a defender in the end zone. Really, really impressive. Like 6'7", 6'6", 240, runs like a deer, plays the position like a wide receiver. He's big and physical in the run game, but he is an easy option in the red zone or in the end zone, as we saw last night. So 3 touchdowns, multiple catches, and a big win over Brunswick. I'm going to try to post some of those highlights over on Dawg Post so you can check it out. But I think the first 2 touchdowns were right at the goal line. He blocks someone, then goes out. No one covers him. Easy walk-in touchdown. But that third one, he leaps, catches the ball at its highest point. And that guy is a baller. I think he's a leaner, probably more athletic. Darnell Washington, he's not as big, but he's a better pass catcher and more of a weapon in the pass game than Darnell Washington was. But he's a guy who brings plenty of size, and he runs. He can pick up yards after the catch. He's got strong hands. Very good players, one of the best players in the country, and he showed that last night in that big win. Todd Robinson down at Valdosta, he is committed to Georgia as a 4-star athlete. I think he will end up in the secondary, but he had a big game. He plays quarterback for Valdosta. He was 19 for 28 for 319 yards through the air, 4 touchdowns. Massive, massive day as a passer. Quarterback for Valdosta. He also ran the ball for 28 rushing yards and 1 more touchdown on the ground. Just a phenomenal overall athlete. They play him at quarterback because he is one of the best athletes, not only in that area, but across the state. He's a big play machine. He is electric with the ball in his hands, but his position, I think, at Georgia will end up in the defensive secondary. But he had a big day at quarterback, and he's launching it. He's got a big-time arm. I think he could have a really nice year throwing the ball for the Valdosta Wildcats, a program that's on the rise, right? They've had some tough years, but they are getting back to their winning ways down in South Georgia. Now, there's still a few more guys I want to talk about and dig into, but first, before I forget, I want to plug collegebrons.com. That's where you can get this Bulldog statue right here. It's the #1 Georgia Bulldog statue on the market. And you can get a discount today. Promo code DAWGPOST, DAWGPOST. All the information is in the description below in this video. So get yours today. It'll be the smartest thing you ever did. Get it today so you have it by the season. It's made in Roswell, Georgia. Check it out. And again, all the information is in the description below. Don't miss out on that discount. Promo code DAWGPOST for that discount. Okay. A wide receiver who found the end zone last night in his first game of the 2024 season, Landon out of North Oconee. They had a rivalry game, Oconee County, to kick off the season. I think he had a 36-yard touchdown. He is a really good athlete. The ranking is not going to impress a lot of Georgia fans, but he's a low to mid 3-star whose ranking and stock is only rising. But Georgia loves his ball skills, his ability to stretch the field and make plays, big plays down the field. He's fast and he tracks the ball well in the air. He can come down with a tough catch. And he found the end zone. He's coming off a big junior season. Look for him to light up the stat sheet. If you live in the Athens area, Oconee County, make sure you go see this kid. He is a big deal, and he's going to make a lot of plays this year. Off to a great start already. Isaiah Gibson, Warner Robins, they lost to Lee County. Dean Legge was actually at that game down in South Georgia. I don't have exact numbers for him, but from what I've been told, from what I gathered, he made some plays, handful of tackles. I think maybe had a sack or two, but the Lee County offense did a great job. I think they scored 42 points. Usman Chroma, who I don't think is leaning Georgia's way. I think he's more of a Florida State guy right now. I think he went well over 100 yards on the ground. But the first text I got about Isaiah Gibson is he looks the part. And he definitely does. He's got a long wingspan, 6'5", 260, 265. Will play even heavier than that when he gets to Athens. But he's a pass rushing machine who can stop the run. I think he made several plays in this game, but they came out on the losing end. So more about him should be coming over on Dawg Post. Jonte Gilbert played in one of the first games of the season. If you don't know who that is, he's a 4-star cornerback commitment. Douglas High School in Atlanta, played in the Corky Kill on Wednesday, had 2 tackles, which is what you're looking for a cornerback. He doesn't give up a lot of catches, but he managed to tackle the running back, I guess, twice. I don't know how many catches he gave up. Could have been 0, but he also had a receiving touchdown himself in the game. 2-way player, a guy they want to be involved both offense and on defense, but he's an instinctive, stout cover corner who had a strong game, led his Astros to win. They could be pretty good this year. So that's another guy in the Atlanta area to know about. Bo Walker is currently ineligible. He's Georgia's 3-star running back commitment. Was at Cedar Grove. Their head coach left. I believe he's an assistant at Georgia State, so he tried to transfer to Stockbridge. And there's some complications right now. So he is currently ineligible. So if you're looking for Bo Walker highlights, Georgia's running back commitment, you're not going to get anytime soon. We'll see if he's able to play next week, but not totally sure right now. On the defensive line, J.J. Hand out of California. He's an out-of-state kid who played on Friday. He had 3 sacks in the first half. This is another 3-star kid who committed to Georgia, I guess, last month. Trying to remember when that was, but a promising kid. I believe he's from Germany. He's only been in the States for he's barely been in the States. He's barely been playing football, but he's got size, he's got potential, and he's only getting better and better and better. He might be a 4-star prospect when the final rankings are all said and done. Plays, I forgot the name of the high school he plays at California, but I did see that he made 3 big sacks in the first half alone. Could not find his final stats, but he's already making big plays in the backfield, making the Georgia staff look smart because he's not a very highly ranked kid at all, but he's coming out the gates, firing, getting in the backfield, getting a handful of sacks in game 1 of the season. So again, overall, their quarterback Ryan Montgomery hasn't played yet. A lot of players on the commit list have not played yet. Juan Gaston Jr. on the offensive line for Westlake, they lost to Langston Hughes. Cortez Smith, an interior offensive line commitment out of Parkview, I think they lost. Mason Short, another offensive lineman. He plays out of Evans High School. They won. Dontrell Glover, Langston Hughes. Again, they won that matchup against Westlake. Langston Hughes is going to run through maybe everyone this year. Their running back, Carson Baker, is on the rise. Of course, Dontrell Glover, currently committed to Georgia, is a mauler on the offensive line. But yeah, several guys making big plays, finding the end zone. Ethan Barbour did a lot of good things as a physical run blocker that I saw. So that's where I was last night. Did not get eyes on him making a catch, but those will come. He's a really good player. I still like his potential and ability to make a lot of plays in the passing game because I've seen it. I've seen him dominate as a pass catching tight end. I know he's got that ability, and I know we're going to see a lot of that later this year. Just didn't see it in a sloppy, rainy Friday night against a really, really talented, strong Buford defense. So that's what happened yesterday. Hope you learned something. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you over on the website.